Tell us a little bit about what God's done for you and how He saved you, David.
Well, where I began, so starts. It was a 4-year journey. Would imagine it stopped in 2010, so we'll start by 2006. 2006, picked up on a habit that I promised my mother I would not start with, and that was a journey of drinking. Unfortunately, I swore it would not get that bad, and it turned into something very horrible, and it turned into a downward spiral, into a nightmare, and it turned into something that I just absolutely fell in love with, and every day it had to be something that I just could not go without, had to live with it, needed it, loved it. At one time, I loved church. We was actually, me and my mom, my brother were members of a church in Chilhowie, a pastor, Neil Johnson, whom I loved dearly, kept him close to my heart. Him and his family were fine people. They moved up to Maine, which broke my heart because he moved up to Maine. He actually introduced me to what church truly was, and who Jesus truly was, and what the Bible really was. And that Bible is what I'm about to tell you about. That Bible was bought for me, and it's a little black Bible by a family in that church down in Chicago. It was an old packing house down there. As I picked up on drinking, my favorite thing was liquor. Loved it. And anyway, they moved up to Maine, and drinking is what killed my stepdad. He was shot to death 5 times in the back, point blank in the back of the head, made 6 total. And I promised my mom I would never pick up on it, and I did. So she spent 4 years worrying to death if her son was going to get killed, and couldn't put it down. So turned out you could smell it on me every day at work. Stayed tired, so it went from bad to worse. Found some pills that could keep you awake all the time. So therefore I could stay awake at work while working to make the money to support my habit at nighttime. So I was on the verge of almost killing myself, and nobody knew it. I was about, almost there, and nobody knew it. It just said it was a dead secret. And I loved the feeling of it. And about 2010, for some odd reason, that black Bible stayed at the house. I don't know how it managed to stay there, but it did. Of all things that come out of that house, got thrown away, got kicked around the house, all the cussing, the F-bombs that got dropped, everything that got kicked around the house, that little black Bible that got bought for me managed to stay there. I don't know how. Don't ever ask me how, I'll never understand it, but it did. The Black Friday of 2010, I had what they all call a tall boy there, and my mom was praying for me, and my stomach got so upset I couldn't stand it, and I ended up dropping, or I ended up throwing half that can away. Usually I could drink one of them like it's nothing, and I threw a can away, and my stomach was real upset that night. I just couldn't stand drinking it, so I threw it away, and I just kept thinking to myself, I thought, I just wish something could just pull me out of this pit that I'm in, just something. And that Bible was laying right there above the couch, and it just fell right there on the floor, and lo and behold, it fell right there. In the middle of it, it opened up in Psalms 40, verse 1 through 3. And I quoted all 3 verses. Psalms 40, verse 1 through 3, the horrible pit of miry clay. And it said, I waited patiently for the Lord, and He inclined unto me and heard my cry. And from the Black Friday of 2010, November of 2010 on Black Friday, till now, 11 years later, which is tonight, I have not had nothing since. I put the pills down, I put the liquor down, beer, all this stuff. I've not had none since. That was my 4-year journey, and leading into my salvation. But I've never forgotten Pastor Neil Johnson, because I truly believe in my heart, if I had not went to that man's church and found him and his family, and if that church member and their family had not took the time to take their money to buy me that Bible, I believe it was God's word in that Bible that saved my life.